Hello, friends. Guess what? It's that time of the week again, and it's library day. Now, I know that we're still not actually coming to the library, but the library is still coming to you. And it's Halloween. Oh my goodness, Halloween is coming up in just a few days, and I could not lose the chance to be able to share some of my Halloween joy with you because Halloween is my favorite holiday. You can see, like I did, I got Halloween like colors on my nails, and I brought my very special witch hat from home. This is the hat that I got to wear when I was in The Wizard of Oz, and I played the Wicked Witch of the West. And I have kept it all, and I bring it out every Halloween because it's a really good hat. So I also got a costume for my friend, the library lion. He's a vampire. Library lion, don't bite me. You're not a real vampire. You don't. This library lion, you guys know he is always getting in trouble. So I'm hoping that he can manage to not try to bite me while I'm telling stories today. Hey! I tell you what, boys and girls, it's probably a good thing that we're going to go ahead and get started with our Storytime song. So, how about we sing together in order to get things started? The more we read together, the more we read together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause my books are your books and your books are my books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. All right. Now, that's how I like to get our library class started. So, hey, library line, could you go get me, would you go get your pumpkin? I think we need your pumpkin for later. Okay, so hopefully he's gonna go get the pumpkin. So, what do you think? What do you think about Halloween? Halloween is a day that has a lot of different symbols that we like, and we're going to actually learn about some things that are nonfiction about Halloween and some things that are, stories about Halloween today. So we're going to keep going with our fiction or nonfiction track that we've been on for the last couple of weeks. So remember, fiction is make-believe. Nonfiction is true. So I want you to try to be able to tell which things that I am talking about today that are fiction or nonfiction. Okay, friends, today's theme is Halloween. And one of the first things that we are going to do, let's play a little game. Let's get us warmed up. Now, I would like for you to think to yourself. So, would you rather play games at a Halloween party or go trick-or-treating? So, now, and you might want to think back to what both of those things were like last year, because they're going to be a little bit different this year because, well, we all are having to follow different rules because of trying to stay safe. So, but still, if you were going to have the choice, would you rather play games at a Halloween party or go trick-or-treating? Which one would I rather do? I think that I would rather go trick-or-treating because I really like to go out in my costume and also be able to get candy. Those are two of my favorite things about Halloween is costumes and candy. So I definitely like going out to do that. So now let's try learning something new today. Okay. I found that there is a sign language sign for Halloween. And it is that it's kind of like you put your hands over your face like it's a mask, and then you pull them away. So that is Halloween. Huh. I thought that was very interesting. So I hope that you tried that along with me. So what is Halloween? So if we're talking about our nonfiction is true part of the day today, then. So what is Halloween? Halloween is celebrated every year on October 31st. It is a fun day of fall-themed food, games, candy, trick-or-treating, and costumes. Now, all of those things are things that I like. So that's probably why it's my favorite holiday. So how did Halloween start? Well, Halloween, as we know it today, started in colonial America. So what that in colonial America, that means back when, even before America was its own country, then when there were just settlers that came from all kinds of places around the world and America wasn't really America yet. It was also started more in the southern states. You know, Kentucky is kind of in the middle, but it's kind of at the very top edge of the southern states. So people would gather to celebrate the harvest. So in places where there were lots of farms, there are a lot of farms here in Shelby County, and so they would have a harvest celebration. So neighbors would get together and they'd tell stories and they'd sing songs and they'd dance and they'd play games. And today, Halloween has turned into one of the most popular holidays in the United States and Canada. So almost every holiday has a bunch of symbols. So a symbol is an object that reminds you of an event, an idea, or a feeling. And this is a great example. So let's look at this cake. Let's look at this cake that's in the picture here. So what kind of an event does this cake make you think about? What is a cake that has candle on top of it? What is that a symbol of? Well, I hope that you said that that was a symbol of a birthday, because that's why when a cake can be good for any time, but usually we don't put candles on a cake unless it's a birthday to celebrate how many years that person is old. So other symbols and holidays and celebrations have all kinds of, so here's another symbol that makes me think about Halloween. So that bat right there, if I saw that bat anywhere, I would wonder whether it was a Halloween bat. So, and especially because he's got pointy teeth. So he's a vampire bat, which makes me think monster, which makes me think Halloween. Now, I want you again, let's think to yourself. I want you to think of some other symbols that are of Halloween. What are some symbols that remind you of Halloween? And I'd love for your teacher to be able to pause the video for just a second and have some of you share the symbols that you know of Halloween. Okay, so let's come back and take a look at some of those symbols together. So colors can actually be symbols. Are there any colors that make you think about Halloween? I'll let you go ahead and pause and discuss for just another second. Well, for me, whenever I see the colors orange and black together, that definitely makes me think about Halloween. So you can see that's what I put on my nails because that was a color combination that totally reminded me of Halloween. Now, we spent all last week talking about pumpkins, and pumpkins, I think, are an absolute Halloween symbol. Didn't I tell the library line to go get the pumpkin? Where did he go? Oh. Where has he been behind me doing anything? Have you library line? Did you go get the pumpkin? Well, how are we going to talk about pumpkins and sing about pumpkins later if you don't go get... Okay, well, evidently, I guess he's going to go get it now because he didn't think I was serious before. So, one of the things that I always think about when it comes to Halloween with pumpkins is making a jack-o'-lantern. When you actually, carve up a pumpkin and then put a candle or something inside to light it up and put it on the porch, that is something that definitely makes me think about Halloween. Also, candy. I love candy. So even if you don't go trick-or-treating, I bet somebody will give you a sweet treat to enjoy. Now, I see lots and lots of ghosts around at Halloween. So, and one of my favorite things is, I don't know if you've ever seen the Charlie Brown Halloween special, but Charlie Brown, dresses up as a ghost, but he's got holes all in his ghost costume, and that always makes me think, oh, what a rotten time. So skeletons, sometimes we see skeletons and things for Halloween. I'm hoping that you're noticing that you shared some of these examples earlier when we were talking in class about Halloween. Are spiders? Have you ever seen spiders or spider webs or anything that was used as decoration for Halloween? So a lot of times I think that, some people are very, very scared of spiders. I'm scared of spiders when I find them in my house and I'm not expecting them. Black cats. So even just the color black and orange, those are already Halloween symbols, but black cats usually are a Halloween symbol because a lot of times witches in movies and stories have black cats. And sometimes people say that black cats are bad luck. But is there any real problem with black cats? Well, no, that's just a superstition. So no more lucky and unlucky than any other kind of cat in the world ever. Is a black, purple, orange, doesn't matter. Now, bats, we already kind of talked about bats. There was a cartoon bat symbol at the beginning, and other times, so you can be scared. Some people are scared of bats, but most of the time, if you just leave bats alone, bats aren't out to hurt anybody. There's actually, I think this bat is kind of cute. It's like, I've never seen a bat in person like that. I will tell you, we at one of the schools that I used to teach in, we kind of had a bat problem. And I came in one day and there was a bat that was up in the top of my ceiling. He was just hanging out Like, if I had not seen him, I don't think he'd have bothered anybody all day long because he was not interested in going out in the light. But there's also a book called Bats in the Library that I really enjoy. So he kind of reminded me of that. Now, trick-or-treating is something that we definitely associate with Halloween. And it's probably going to look a little different this year, but we got to use those rules that keep us safe. Like when we talk about our hands, we got to wash our hands. We got to not touch our face. We got to keep our mask on when we're around other people. And we got to keep our 6-foot distance. We got to keep our hands, our face, and our space. Those are all things that we got to still think about on Halloween, but you can definitely still enjoy some candy. Costumes. What kind of costume are you going to wear for Halloween? Honestly, I'm really thinking about wearing my witch costume on Halloween because I like it a lot. And it's there's witches in all kinds of books. So if we're talking about book characters for Friday costumes, then I think that a witch is obviously a good choice. So costumes, sometimes people base characters on, costumes on characters in books or on things they want to be or objects or, the library line's dressed as a vampire. So he decided he wanted to be a monster because he's very nice in real life, even though he sometimes makes bad choices. So all of those things that we were talking about that were Halloween symbols, all of those were facts. Okay, so can you tell us what do we call books that are full of information and facts? Is that fiction or nonfiction? So Sarah, fiction or nonfiction? How do we know which to choose? Fiction is make-believe. Nonfiction is true. Okay, so if nonfiction is true, then that was what we would call books with facts and information. All right. Hey, guess what? It's time to bring back our action rhyme from last week. It was so good with all the stuff with the pumpkins that I thought we'd do it again. So, are you ready? I hope so. Do you remember how it goes? Okay, so 5 little pumpkins sitting on the gate. Well, I thought the library line was going to help me with this. Hey, library line! Library line? Where did you get a pumpkin t-shirt? Oh, my goodness. That is fancy. I didn't know the library line was getting fancy shirts for this week, too. He's been a vampire and now he's got on a fancy shirt? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to do this together, library line. So 5 little, you got to do the part with the children, okay? Okay, so first I do it, and then you guys in the library line do it. So, 5 little pumpkins sitting on the gate. 5 little pumpkins sitting on the gate. The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." Oh, you're not covering your mouth very well. Let's see. The second one said, "There are witches in the air." Actually, this one's in a chair, but ha 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 ha. Okay, so the second one said, "There are witches in the air." Okay. The third one said, "Oh, we don't care." The third one said, "Oh, we don't care." The fourth one said, "Let's run and run and run." The fourth one said, "Let's run and run and run." The fifth one said, "It's Halloween fun." The fifth one said, "It's Halloween fun." Woo went the wind and out went the light. Woo went the wind and out went the light. And the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. Oh, I like that one. And actually, you still do have your pumpkin. I was wondering whether you had lost your pumpkin or not. He's not always very responsible, but I am very proud of you for keeping up with your pumpkin. So, actually, you want to hear a joke? So, here is a Halloween joke. What kind of mistakes do spooks make? Answer, boo-boos. Because that's why the ghosts say boo. So, ha, 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 ha. All right, so now I'm not entirely sure about what all this like wardrobe changes with the library line are today. He might end up in a totally different outfit. Okay, he says he's got one more costume for later, so I don't know what it's going to be. So I guess he's going to go change. So we're going to keep going with our lesson. So we'll see you later, library line. Okay, so now let's get into our stories for today. So I've got a couple of stories that I really am looking forward to sharing with you. So number 1, we're going to read Los Gatos Black on Halloween, written by Marissa Montes and illustrated by Yuyi Morales. So there are a bunch of Spanish words that are going to show up in this book. So I thought that we would talk about them, and I would love for you to be listening and looking for these Spanish words that are in this book today. So if you notice on the screen, the words that are kind of slanty, that's what we call italics. It's a text feature, and it's showing us which ones of the words on the page are Spanish. So I'm going to read just this one part, and I'm going to point out the Spanish word. So under October's luna, full and bright, the monsters are throwing a ball in the haunted hall. Las brujas come on their broomstick. Los muertos rise from their coffins to join in the fun. Los esqueletos rattle their bones as they dance through the door. And the scariest creatures aren't even there yet. So we're going to end the book. So I would love for you to think to yourself whether you know or would want to make a guess. So what is a luna? What are las brujas? What are los muertos? And what are los esqueletos? So when we're reading the book, then I want you to keep your eye out for those words. So let's see. All right, then let's get started. Los gatos black with eyes of green, cats slink and creep on Halloween. With ojos keen that squint and gleam, They yowl, they hiss, they sometimes scream. Las calabazas, fat and round, carved pumpkins guard a hallowed ground. Their eerie faces, burning bright, form spooky beacons in the night. Las brujas guide their broomsticks high. The witches on escobas fly. Above the earth, before the moon, they swoop and swish and swoosh, and soon los esqueletos rattle bones. The skeletons, with creaks and groans, delight the night in moonbeams dance. An awkward bow, a clattering prance. Next, los fantasmas drag their chains. The ghosts, the phantoms, shriek their pains. Now come the ghouls, then zombies march beneath the trees where branches arch. October's luna, full and bright. The fall moon lights a vampire's bite. La momia walks, the mummy stalks, and far away a lone loon mocks. At medianoche, midnight strikes, the witching hour the werewolf likes. The bloodhounds bay, los perros howl. Beware, the wolfman's on the prowl. The gravesites shiver, headstones shake. Las tumbas open, tombs awake. The corpses with their cold dead eyes, los muertos from their coffins rise. And in a slow and strange parade, the creatures of the night invade a haunted casa, long asleep, the mansion's secrets buried deep. Yes, by the magic of this night, this noche filled with chills and fright, the monsters crowd the haunted hall. Los monstruos throw a monstrous ball. On harpsichords once tucked away, some unseen Gatos fingers play. Forgotten music tinkling clear. La música the dead can hear. Las brujas boogie, muertos bop. Los esqueletos do the hop. The ghosts in their transparent waltz glide through the wolfman's somersaults. Rap, rap, rap. Then from the door comes Trace, loud raps. What could it be? Is it perhaps? The music stops. Each creature gasps, and suddenly the door unclasps. La puerta creaks. It opens wide. The things are coming. Run and hide. They hold up bags, yell, trick or treat. Los monstruos beat a quick retreat. The thing that monsters most abhor are human niños at the door. Of all the horrors they have seen, the worst are kids on Halloween. All right. So, Los Gatos Black on Halloween was made up and written by an author. So, if we're talking about our fiction or nonfiction books, what do we call books that are make believe stories? So, fiction or nonfiction, how do we know? Fiction is make believe. Nonfiction is true. So we kind of heard some nonfiction stuff at the beginning of Storytime, and now we're in our fiction stories because somebody wrote these out of their imagination. So, a couple of fun facts. So, jack-o'-lanterns originated in Ireland, which is a country that is very far away. They used to be carved from turnips, beets, and potatoes. Of course, this little teeny pumpkin kind of isn't much bigger than a potato. So Irish immigrants, so people who lived in Ireland and moved to what is now the United States, they brought that tradition with them when they came. And so, did you know candy corn was once called chicken feed? I can kind of see where that would be, but I guarantee that there were less people who were buying it when you call it candy corn or you call it chicken feed. I have a feeling I know which one sold way more because that's the one it's still being called today. All right, are you ready for our second story today? Zombies Don't Eat Veggies, created by Megan and Jorge Lacera, is on our Kentucky Bluegrass Award list of books that we are going to vote for to see which one we think is the very best. There are 10 books on our list, and some of my friends who were here at MCM with me last year know that we were still reading some of them when we went to NTI in the spring. So we are going to start with this one, and it's going to be number 1 on our list of 10. But this one I thought was a very excellent choice for right around Halloween since it's full of zombies, and that's, zombies are a monster. And I hope that you enjoy this story too. And if you're listening really closely, I think that you're also going to hear some more Spanish words in this story. Mo was a zombie with a deep, dark craving. It was dreadful, devious, absolutely despicable. Mo loved to eat vegetables. He grew all kinds of veggies in his hidden garden, and then in his secret kitchen, he crafted celery, tomatoes, and carrots into delicioso meals that he devoured with delight. Mo's mom and dad did not love vegetables. Not one bit. Veggies were yucky, disgusting. Que asco. They were not allowed at the Romero's dinner table. Ready to chase some humans in the marathon next week, mijo? Zombies were supposed to eat zombie cuisine, like brain cakes, brain stew, and brain and bean tortillas. Mo's parents insisted that their niño eat only zombie food. Finger foods, mi amor? Gracias. I'm not hungry. Mo tried to convince his mom and dad to give peas a chance. He sneaked in vegetables wherever he could. But Mo's attempts were fruitless. His parents wanted him to accept who he was, a zombie. And zombies don't eat veggies. Mo knew he did not like zombie cuisine, and he couldn't imagine letting go of spinach or cucumbers or kale forever. If zombies were only supposed to eat zombie cuisine, Mo started to wonder if maybe he wasn't a zombie after all. Day after day, Mo wondered how he could make his parents understand his love of veggies. His tomatoes were tantalizing. His cucumbers were crispy. The peppers, perfection. Add onion, some garlic, a touch of cilantro, and gazpacho! Holy aioli! Mo had an idea. His best one yet. Mo grabbed his book of recipes. His fingers flew across the pages until he found it. The recipe for a tomato and veggie-filled soup. He was sure the tomatoes would make it look bloody and goopy, just like a zombie dish. His parents were going to devour it. Mo chopped and diced, blended and pureed, perfected and poured. Finally, the soup was finished. Mo carefully shuffled it over to the house for dinner, where he found a feast fit for a zombie. Mo, you're just in time. Try some empanadas, mi amor. Prime cuts. Mira, I made spicy mayonnaise. I made something for you too. It's called blood bile bisque. Bon appetit gave it 5 brains. Smells strange. Looks delightful. 5 brains must be delicioso. They dug in. Mo closed his eyes and sucked in his breath. This was it. They'd savor the soup. They'd ask for mas. Mo imagined breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks, all vegetables. Raw, cooked, steamed, and fried forever and ever. He saw all his dreams coming true until Mo's parents did not like the soup. Not one bit. Dios mío! This soup tastes like vegetables! Yuck! Mo's heart sank to his toes. His plan was a bust. How many times do we have to tell you that zombies don't eat veggies? Maybe other zombies don't eat vegetables, but I do. Mom and Dad, I'm different. But I'm still me, Mauricio Romero, your Nino, your Mo. Mo reminded his parents that he liked chasing humans as they ran in marathons. And he promised he'd always cheer for Dad during championship brain eating competitions. He also loved doing the zombie shuffle under the moonlight with Mom. He was a zombie, a Romero. He just liked to eat vegetables. Mo's parents loved their son and finally accepted that it was okay to be different. They even promised Mo they would eat more veggies. For him. But only a teeny tiny bit. The Romeros knew that most zombies don't eat veggies. But they were more than zombies. They were a family. Hey, if you liked our books that we shared today, then you might also like these. I recommend if you go to the public library, if you'd like to place a hold on books in our library and have your parents request to have some books delivered outside, then I would suggest all of these. So I love Dave Pilkey's The Halloweener because I love wiener dogs. I have two wiener dogs. I have Pippi and Stella are my dachshunds, and this reminds me of them all the time. Except for Stella. I got Stella a hot dog costume, and she ate it. So that really happened. So, The Spider and the Fly by Tony Detrolizi is the spider. This is a very old story. So the spider wants the fly to walk into his parlor and stay for a while. Should she do it? Will she be safe? That's a good question. You'd have to read the book to find out. And I love Creepy Carrots. Creepy Carrots is one of my favorite books. And I usually like to make boys and girls think about, okay, is all of this really happening? Jasper Rabbit loves the Krakenhopper Field carrots, and he eats them on the way to school. He eats them going to Little League. He eats them walking home until the day that the carrots start following him. Or are they? I talked about bats at the library. So this is a wonderful picture book about bats who go and sneak into the library at night and have a big time. And if you got Creepy Carrots, there's also Scary Underwear. Creepy Pair of Underwear is also about Jasper Rabbit, but when he sees that his new underwear is glowing in the dark, he tries to get rid of them. They just keep coming back, and he's really freaked out. What's he gonna do? Another great book by Aaron Reynolds and Peter Brown. So, what was your favorite part about our class today? If you got a minute, go ahead and raise your hand and share. Or if you're at home, please feel free to tell somebody at your house about what your favorite part of class today was. Now, with the rest of our time, you can choose an activity. You can draw, color a picture with your own supplies that's fiction on one side and maybe nonfiction on the other. So some of those symbols, maybe some of the creatures that were in some of our stories today. And one side, real things, other side, not real. So there's lots of choices on my Clever page that you could do with the rest of your time, including a really fun Halloween choice board. So you can hear somebody else read Zombies Don't Eat Veggies. You can hear some other great Halloween stories and some Halloween songs and some Halloween art projects. So many Halloween activities that you could do. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you've had a lot of fun today. And I've got one more. Library line? What are you wearing? Oh my goodness. He will not. And now he's a ghost. Ooh. Well, I wasn't expecting that. So, how many costumes do you have, Library Line? We'd be here for a really long time if he wore all those costumes. Boys and girls, I hope you have a wonderful Halloween, and I hope that you get lots and lots of candy. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.